Hey, this is We Called It. We are back after a quick hiatus. We had life getting crazy, and yeah, but that's done now. Anyways, almost the whole crew is here. Ken got a new house, which is beautiful, and he's painting the whole thing, so it's taken like a week to do. But let's stop talk about people who aren't here. Talk about the ones who are. Anthony, after 2 hot weeks that we didn't record and show to people, you had a miserable week last week, going
Yeah,
2-7, and went from first to worst on the picks again.
yeah. I just started firing picks out there like
He got cocky. He got
like
cocky.
Rambo. I was going in just shooting picks out there, and
Yeah.
they were sending the bullets back. I didn't do my Matrix Neo dodge. I just took those bullets right to the chest. Took some L's, but I'm ready to bounce back this week. I'm going with a minimum 5.
Still positive, though, for the year at 54%. And then Connor, I don't know the last time we saw you, but I'm just happy that you're here.
Probably about a month, honestly.
Honestly, it might have been the last time we recorded. I don't remember.
Honestly, I don't remember. It might have been. Either way, I'm back and with a vengeance. And also, I think a good goal should be to get to like 60% by the end of the year. So
yeah, that's a ridiculously good goal. That's something that happens about 50% of the time. If you can predict it 60%, that's really good. Anyways, that's math.
That was a.
That's kind of Anchorman.
That was a little bit Anchorman reference. That's where I'm going.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get right to it with our picks.
We're in trouble.
Dude, if anyone wants to hunt us down, it would cost more than the benefit they would get.
Disney definitely would.
Anyways, let's just start off. Connor's back, and he's feeling red hot because he is backing Arthur Smith. What are you doing, man?
I'm a wild man. That's the hilarious part. Like, it's kind of like, this is like keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Like, Arthur Smith is my, he's the bane of my existence. But if he can't cover 3 points versus Carolina, like, there should be a riot on the streets in Atlanta because Carolina is awful. There's no. This is literally like I don't even know how to explain it. I think Bryce Young is on like a historically bad QBR streak, and I know you hate that metric, but like he's off to like historically the worst start of nearly any rookie. Definitely the worst start of a number 1 overall pick, and we're talking that includes Jason White's of the world. That includes Jamarcus Russell. I mean, we're talking like some serious bad company. And the worst part is, I don't even think it's his fault. Like, it's not at all. Like, I actually think that a lot of the grading, I watch a lot more college football than you guys. The guy can still be good. Okay, I mean, we're not talking. I think his floor now, people are like, oh, he's gonna be Drew Brees. Okay, I don't think it's Drew Brees. I think it's more or less like an Alex Smith. I think people need to be more aware that could this guy still be Alex Smith? Yes, he could. I don't think that's a bad comp. I think that's actually a really good comp. But again, back to Arthur Smith, my buddy, aka the worst human in the world. He literally was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. The amount of dirt that his dad has on the owners of the Atlanta Falcons organization has to be substantial, because the words used today in a report that I was reading was, outside of a monumental collapse, Arthur Smith is going to be back next year, which means I'm okay if I lose this pick, to see Arthur Smith have this counted as a monumental collapse. So this is a win-win for me. They cover, fantastic. If they don't, guess what? Arthur Smith could be a monumental collapse. I'm also taking the under here because guess what? Our boy's going to sit there and run the ball 60 times in the game. Why? Because he's going to be winning. He should be winning. And he's going to be like, you know what? Cordero Patterson hasn't touched the ball in about 3 carries. Need to put him in there. Old Bijan, sit your butt down. We don't care about you. So, this is like such a win-win. It's probably why I'm excited about this game. Gonna be awful to watch. I would not suggest watching this game. No. Guys, do not watch this game. Anybody watching this game, the only reason you watch this is if you are betting on this game.
Don't be ridiculous. The only reason you watch this is because it pops up on Red Zone, and that's for
Correct.
the one touchdown scored
They
in this
have
game.
to show they're only going to go to it probably twice in the whole.
So you're doing the good old emotional hedge on this one, right? I'll be happy if
Listen.
one side wins, and I'll be financially happy if the other side wins.
Go look at Carolina. Go look at Carolina Panthers. I'll put it up right now. We're gonna read off. I can almost guarantee you. Let's read off their last however many games. 6 points.
There's no need. They lost by 100.
10 points. 13.
It's not
points.
good.
Guys. No way. No way. They put up 6 points last week. 6 on the Saints without Marshawn.
Let's go over then to Anthony. What's your rebound pick? You have to come out strong. This is the one. This is the one that made you say, I'm going to be a winner once again.
I really like the Ravens at Jacksonville to cover 3 points. I think Trevor Lawrence came out. He looked decent mobility-wise against the Browns last week. But, I mean, he wasn't making the best decisions out there. Some of his throws were really good. I was at that game. And then some of his throws were just off the mark. But in a game where the Browns defense was giving up heavy rushing yards, Jacksonville said, screw running the ball. We're still in this game. It's still a close one-score game. Screw running the ball. We're going to throw it because we have a hurt Trevor Lawrence. By the way, high ankle sprain, that's the kibosh. That's like Rodgers supposedly tearing his Achilles, coming back in 13 weeks or whatever. No shot he actually had a high ankle sprain. Someone doesn't know high from low in that medical staff.
Ken? We need Ken.
But anyways, nonetheless, Jacksonville isn't even close in that Browns game if the Browns don't let them back in, don't turn the ball over in their own red zone a couple of times, and give Jacksonville 2 easy scores. I think Baltimore isn't going to give Jacksonville that opportunity, even though Lamar Jackson loves to turn the ball over. I think Baltimore is going to go up early, and I think they're going to run the score up. We've seen them do that against good offensive teams this year, like the Lions, a couple other ones, where Baltimore's going to go up, and their defense is not going to allow Jacksonville to come back. Don't care that it's in Jacksonville. They don't have a home crowd. I know I'm going to pay the price for that if any Jacksonville fans are watching, but I was at the Browns game, and I saw a total of 5 Jacksonville fans in the whole stadium. So they don't travel, and all the Florida teams are travelers, so they're not going to be there. It's going to be Baltimore heavy. It's going to be like having their own home crowd.
How many Florida people do you
Baltimore
know?
minus 2.
Name them right now.
I've got a couple that live there now, but are from Ohio. So
they're Browns fans. I was going to say all the Jags fans live in London because that's their real home stadium.
Yeah, they play their most games there.
Yeah. Oh, you may be talking into it. No Christian Kirk is just deadly.
No Christian Kirk. Zay Jones, he was drop city Sunday. Like he should have had some huge plays for them, but made some critical drops that kind of cost Jacksonville. And like I was listening on the radio. Jacksonville's like, I agree. I think the coaching sucked against the Browns. Like the game plan was stupid. Every time they ran an outside sweep, it was 10, 15 yards. If you do that against the Browns defense, you can be successful throwing against these guys, especially throwing against their number one cornerbacks since Denzel Ward's out and Mick Emerson. Makes no sense to me. Like they were just like, the game plan was bad, and I think they're going to stick to another bad game plan against Baltimore.
Does he know that Doug Peterson won the Super Bowl? Does he know that?
Oh, dude, I'm a big Doug Peterson advocate, but I just sometimes he makes some dumb decisions. But
he's a coach that is like he reminds me of Sean Payton. It's like he's gonna end the year 9-7, 10-6, but he's going to play the best teams better than anyone just because he'll bring up his coaching at those games.
Mike Vrabel. Guys, our historical take on old Vrabes. Mike Vrabel always steps up in big games and then loses to crappy teams. There, we said it. They beat the Dolphins.
Perfect. Wonderful. Yes, that is true. We do love some Braves. I'm
You
surprised I
guys
didn't
don't
take
even
that pick.
remember our own takes. Come on.
I have been busy. Anyways, let's go on to my anti-Dallas Cowboys spiel. I am taking Buffalo -1.5. I don't know if this is Sunday night. I don't know when this game is, but let me tell you, the Cowboys are so lucky the Eagles do not have hands. All right? Devonta Smith fumbling in the 20, Jalen Hurts fumbling in the 20, AJ Brown fumbling at like the 35, Devonta Smith dropping a touchdown. That game should have been an awesome shootout to watch. And instead, we got Dallas winning by 30 or winning by 20, and the media being all like, Dallas is the greatest team ever. That game was close, and fumbles, everyone knows, are a random thing. They go both ways. They're hard to replicate. So that was just Philly coming off 4 hard games and just not being as dialed in as they should be. The Dallas is definitely overrated. That's the first legit team they beat, and now they go to Buffalo, and Dallas is a bad road team because the crowd's not there cheering them on, giving them support, and they're emotionally unstable. But Josh Allen is playing like a monster because he knows he needs to. I got him as a sneaky MVP favorite if he wins out. Odds are I think plus 1,600. So keep your eyes on that. But anyways, Buffalo is looking. They have so many good players. They can't put together a full game. They're a terribly coached team. But Dallas is going to be coming in thinking they're all that, and they're going to get smacked down again because they're Dallas, and it's what they do. It's a 1.5 spread. That is that's borderline a pick 'em. I'm all in on Buffalo coming out and putting Dallas back in their place. And then the funny thing is everyone's going to be high on Buffalo, and they're going to go through the same thing next week probably.
Hey, Dallas fans don't need to travel well because the front runner fans are like bugs. They're infested throughout the whole country, dude. They're everywhere.
Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. Being a fair weather fan is easy. It's real easy. I don't know if you guys know that, but Dallas being great right now, Dak MVP. Oh, you guys are haters. I don't know if you guys know this, but as a Dallas fan personally, I can tell you that this always seems to happen when we're good. And guess what? When it doesn't happen, it's not our fault. Okay? It's always
Connor,
Sure.
we've been doing this for like 2 years, maybe 2.5 now. And I'm just finding out you're a Dallas fan.
There's no shot that was real. I was like, wait. I thought he was a Bengals fan. What?
Listen, I am a both fan. I don't know if you.
Oh,
guys
he
know.
said he's a fair weather fan.
No.
That's why. Because
That's
at no
NFC
point.
dark
This
horse.
is literally an oxymoron. This is you guys are just now getting it, and I was gonna keep going until like.
This is what happens when we don't
Phil's
record
head
for like
exploded
2.
until they figured out the joke, and then I would.
The thing is, it's a trigger for me. It's like if you say I'm a Dallas fan, and then it's just white rage, and I just gotta
Yeah.
point something.
I was sitting here, I'm like, that was a really good joke, and then Phil was just, I could see it in his eyes. But
The veins started to
Hey,
pop a little.
we can't all lie that we were Dallas fans once when we were all playing Mad
Dak
96.
Prescott is an MVP candidate. He must be serious.
He's the front runner. His odds are like 150, which is the lowest
See,
right now.
The thing is, Connor, I've heard this take all freaking week, and it's just made me so angry. And
Don't watch
you
the media.
repeating it, it was a trigger. Okay.
I do like to watch TV and repeat those takes. I do, because I love me some Colin Cowherd. Because he doesn't make me want to punch a brick wall.
Dude, all right, just minor detour. I think Chris Broussard is one of the best NBA analysts there is. I hate that if I want to listen to him, I have to listen to Nick Wright too. Like,
Nick
Oh,
Wright's
it's
insufferable.
torture.
Listen,
Dude.
you know what? We're just going to do this right now because it's entertaining and I think it's very good. Worst in my top 3 like worst NFL analysts. Dan Orlovsky.
That's a layup.
Hate that dude. Probably, well, Jason Witten when he was around. Good thing he's not.
Dude, he's such a he's that dude that's like such a nice guy, and then he just sucks at his job.
Booger McFarlane.
Layup.
I would say another guy that I don't like at all whatsoever. I shouldn't say that. Half the time I like Chris Collinsworth. Half the time I'm like, dude, please shut up. Please
Yeah,
shut
I
up.
agree.
But best ones, Greg Olson. He's pretty good.
Love Olsen.
Greg Olson's pretty good. I can stomach Tony Romo for a little while. I think he's actually really
Robo
good.
and Nance is a good duo.
Yeah. Romo is just kind of like a weird, quirky guy. Hey, Tony, is everything okay over there? Am I boring you? Jeez Louise, you want to talk about your commentators? Who do you hate, mister? Yeah, we took a detour. This is called podcasting.
We're talking about commentators and who I hate. It's Mark Sanchez right now. That guy, there's just something about him calling games where it's like
because he's pretty? Is that why?
No, it's because he just like he talks about what he wants to talk about the whole time. Like the game will be going on. Someone will be like running a 40-yard touchdown.
Time out.
But he loves Flacco. He loves Joe Flacco.
He does love Joe. Fine. So does Colin Cowherd. Great. But here's the other thing. I don't know if you can get over the Tony Romo. Hey, here. Pew, pew, pew. Oh, there he goes. He's supposed to do this. Watch this. Pew.
I liked Tony Romo at first. Now Tony Romo's nice to have on and like to hear Nance is nice, and then like to hear the occasional Romo is okay. But yeah, he started off great, and then he just was like, I'm gonna be annoying.
He took a left turn and
he
then
toned
got
it down.
scaled back by basically said we're about to take you off TV if you don't just stop being weird. And then he kind of was like, okay, I'll only be weird half the time.
When the NFL Network did games and there was Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner, nothing against either of them individually, I didn't like it. I don't know what it was, but just
Kurt's like knowledge is fine. He does have he's not very excitable.
I don't know. I was gonna say I don't know if it was the combination of the two that made it rough, but like individually they'd be fine. But that was bad. The one guy I miss is Aqib Talib. I don't know if you guys watched, and like last year he got penciled in for a couple of games. He was awesome.
I didn't watch him. I heard sound bites of him, and I'm just like, dude.
Aqib Talib's awesome.
I liked him as a player, and I liked him when he was like analyzing, like on the NFL Network. I never heard him do a commentator, but in my head, I'm just like, could I listen to his voice for that long? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing though, because like he was just pumped about everything. Like he was that commentator that's flipping out at like a 2-yard carry and just loving everything that's happening. So it was really just like the emotion behind it. Anyways, that's enough of that. Let's get back to what really matters.
Hey, you can cut that up.
I'm probably not going to. I'll
Whatever,
take out
Phil.
I'll trim it.
Come on.
I don't have
Tony
the commitment.
like was just looking down at his phone the whole time. It was crazy.
It only pans on you.
Yeah, no, like we got it, so you only see the person who's talking.
No, I'm literally looking at games for this week. That's that when you see me look at my phone.
He's got his San Jose Sharks. He's checking them out.
No, I'm done betting against the San Jose Sharks, and I'll tell you why. Because my $1 at plus 100,000 odds for them to win the Stanley Cup might actually happen. Because these guys, man, they are fighting, dude. Every game, it's like I bet against them. I bet the Rangers the other night -1.5. The Rangers are up 6-3 with 5 minutes left, and the freaking Sharks get 2 goals within 5 minutes. Dude, I'm done. I'm just done. I'm off. Off the bandwagon.
To be clear, I thought we were going to go quickly tonight, and Connor said he has to go quickly too. Here we are talking about commentators and San Jose Sharks.
This is good content. This is good content, Phil.
All right. That sounded real Trumpian. This is great content. That make the best content.
The best.
Anyways,
let's head
over to Jake Browning versus Nick Mullins. Everyone has this game marked on their calendar. They said this is what we were coming to see. Minnesota versus Cincinnati. Jake Browning, baby Joe Burrow coming out slicing and dicing teams.
Jake Burrow. Listen, I really wanted this game to be -2.5. But I said, if I'm going to be a Bengals homer and actually loving Joe Burrow on the sidelines, mentoring his protege, unlike the clown that you have for the clowns, who's up not wanting to play football anymore, up in Cleveland, Joe Burrow is he's in the thick of it. He is a role model. I don't know if you guys know this. Joe Burrow is actually probably going to quit and eventually become an Ohio senator and win. I don't know if you guys know that.
I don't know if you heard, but 2056, Joe Burrow for president.
Joe Burrow.
What are you running his campaign?
I'm just telling you right now. They're going to look back on this and they're going to say Joe Burrow willed Jake Browning to probably the craziest streak here ever. I might not bet against them the rest of the year. I might not. So, just so you guys are aware, Jake Browning probably is going to win out for them and maybe even win.
Whoa!
Wait, back up. You think they're going to win every game?
Well, I'll give him one loss. It's not going to be
You
this
know-
one.
No, the last week of the season.
Listen. They're going to get
Cleveland
into the playoffs.
rocks.
They're going to get into the playoffs. Look at who they're playing against the rest of the year. A broken Clowns team. They're going to end up playing a Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett offense. Get out of here. T. Higgins, our boy, is healthy finally. Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, Chase Brown. I can't wait for them to cut Mixon and just start Chase Brown.
He's been good.
I'm buying in. You guys gotta. Hey, I'm just telling you right now, they're gonna make the playoffs. Jake Burrow, baby.
Dude, let me tell you, I wrote an article last week literally saying, no way Jake Browning plays another freaking elite game. And there he comes, 18 for 24 for 275, 11 and a half yards per attempt.
Connor, do you follow those two guys that make like Cincinnati Bengals music, like songs about the Bengals?
Who are they?
I'll send you a video. I gotta find it. But they did one when Burrow got hurt, and then they did one just now when Browning had like another electric game, and it's awesome. Like they do like spoofs of like songs that have already been done, like Beatles and like big hits.
A Joe Burrow clone. You guys
Dude,
aren't even watching the games. Phil probably didn't even watch that game last week. He's
been good, man. I mean, it's hard not to be good with those weapons, but you still have to play behind that like mediocre offensive line and make the reads, make the throws.
Fine.
Joe Burrow, I will agree. Joe Burrow is a dog for sitting there and like teaching him the ways, telling him. Even after like Joe Burrow didn't have like a fantastic season, like he had his ups and downs. To sit there and be like, I don't care. I mean, he's got job security. They aren't dropping him. Deshaun Watson, on the other hand, he should be a little worried about the flack man taking his job.
Hey,
dude, there's guys buying his jersey up in Cleveland. There's guys buying Flacco jerseys.
Dude, the most popular player in Cleveland at any time is the backup quarterback.
Listen, I just want you to know right now, the headline for this tag for YouTube is going to be Qui-Gon Jinn, Joe Burrow, Jake Browning, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Boom.
Dude, dead serious. I will make our thumbnail like Joe Burrow, Qui-Gon Jinn back to back, and then underneath them, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jake Browning back to back.
Listen, dude, I'm doing this for free right now. I'm gonna have to charge you here soon, Phil. I just want you to know.
We'll give you a percentage of profits.
Book it. Cincinnati -3.
All right, Anthony, did you see my
Mullins?
note?
God, come on! You're going against Nick Mullins. Get out.
Oh
of here.
yeah.
Cleveland at home taking on the Bears. The Bears can do one thing well, and that is play the Detroit Lions. I have no idea why they show up only to play the Lions, but it is what it is. I don't think they're going to replicate that same kind of creativity offensively. They're like Getsy 2 weeks ago, Connor was blowing up our group chat because they would literally run bubble screens on second and third down. They would do it to the left and then the right. And that was their second and third down offense. It was the most atrocious thing I had ever seen. And then this week, they ran a fake reverse to Justin Fields. It was actually like a beautifully creative play because you didn't know who was getting the ball, if you had to worry about the pass or anything. I'm loving it because DJ Moore's popping it off. He's on my fantasy team. But I am not going to trust them to come out with that same kind of creativity against Cleveland. And the Browns' defensive line is going to be way better than anything they face, and it's just going to eat alive any creativity, because if you can't block, you can't make things happen. And also, Joe Flacco is channeling his inner playoff Joe Flacco for at least a quarter a game. I don't know how he's throwing 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he's doing it. He is actually making the Browns' deep threats look like real options. You know, we can complete a 15-yard pass for the first time all year. So I'm excited. Cleveland, man, you are looking like that team that's going to a great upset in week 1 of the playoffs and then get humiliated in week 2. And I'm all here for it. Anyways,
So
Cleveland -3. Anthony, you have the over. Anything to add?
I took the over at 38.5. The Flack man's cooking up in Cleveland. I expect Browns to put up 31 points at least. And then I think
this is why I hate
the
Browns
Bears
fans.
get
This is why
10
I hate Browns fans.
Hold on. I expect the Bears to get 10 to 14 points. I think that over at 38.5 is a little low. If it's a bad weather game, you could throw the over out the window. But my last point is I was at the game. The first touchdown Njoku scored, he got wide open, and Flacco threw a dime. It was in the air for what felt like 20 seconds. And everyone's going crazy, and all I could say was, Njoku, catch the ball. And he caught the ball. Njoku was great. I think he only had 1 drop in that game. If the receivers can catch Flacco, Flacco's throwing a good ball right now. I saw him hit some really tight windows. It's been 2 weeks though. Every week that Flacco's played, the over is hit in the Browns game. Granted, they've been going up against good offenses. This week, the Bears are a little risky. Connor, why do you hate us Cleveland fans?
You are like, oh, all of a sudden here, Flacco's the GOAT. I say one little thing about freaking Jake Burrow, and you guys are sitting there like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that. But Joe Flacco all of a sudden is going to be a godsend. Is going to be Nick Foles reincarnated. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? Oh, I can't wait. Joe Flacco's Nick Foles. Nick Foles, guys.
I've seen Flacco do some great things. So every game that I've gone to where Flacco's been the quarterback in Cleveland, he is undefeated. And so for my brother too. He was at the Jets game when he came back with the Jets and made the historic 2-minute comeback. There was a game I went to when he played for Baltimore where he came back from a 20-point deficit at the half. And then last week wins it for the Browns. He's won 3 different times or for 3 different teams in that stadium.
Phil,
Plus, he's won more there. He's the man in Cleveland.
I'll give you a hint. He's the backup quarterback for the Miami Dolphins right now. That's our boy. Come on,
Mike White, dude. If the Browns could get Mike
White,
I'd mortgage the future. I'd give up $250 million and 3 first-round picks for a quarterback like Mike White.
So hold on. Who would you rather have, Phil? Mike White or Jameis Winston?
Don't joke, Jameis.
All right,
Jameis is a different tier from everyone. I want 30 touchdowns, 30 picks. I want to watch me some exciting football. It's about ticket sales, not W's.
Eat a W.
Yeah, he ate one because he only has 2 hands. You only get 2 W's with him. All right.
But it's ironic because if you put these 2 together, that's 8 eggs. Crab eggs. crab legs.
You got the 2 W's and you're walking around like a little crab.
Well, that's when he steals those from the grocery store. Phil, that was the joke.
Did you? All right. So allegedly, someone said something like the guy wanted to give him the crab legs, but he knew if he received the crabs in gift form from the grocery store, he would be punished by the NCAA. So instead, he stole them.
Good man, smart man.
Yeah, totally the biggest load of hoax I've ever heard. With that, let's go. Pittsburgh versus Indy. You guys each got this game. Indy -1.5. Connor, why do you believe in Gardner Minshew and not?
Why do we believe in Mitch Trubisky? Did you watch Mitch Trubisky last week? Do you have eyes, Phil?
No.
I didn't think so
watch.
because
I
you
was
didn't know
doing
the answer
anything else.
Tony and I have the answers to this question. It's Mitch Trubisky. That's it. That's it. That's all you need to know. And then Mike Tomlin, who apparently is an unbelievable coach, except for picking like anything offensive coordinators. And by the way, fun fact for you. I think we either said this. I know I've said this among my group of friends. George Pickens is either going to be out of the league in 5 years because nobody wants to deal with him, or he's going to be an all-pro. There's no in between. Mike Tomlin came out and said, yeah, George Pickens is becoming a distraction. They want him to mature. Dude, not going to happen. You either going to put up with it or you're going to get him off the team. There's no way. There's no in between. So this whole offense is dysfunctional. Completely dysfunctional. Minshew Mania, he does one of two things. 3 picks, awful, or 4 touchdowns, no picks, and all of a sudden now we're really, really good. So I think he had a questionable, okay-ish game last week. Bounce back game. Get right game. Mitch Trubisky's a pretty good get right game to have.
Yeah, I mean, this is an ugly, grimy game. It's definitely going to be one of those tough games to watch, like Atlanta, Carolina. I think Indy just pulls it out at the end, even without Jonathan Taylor. I think Minshew, yeah, he's going to cook, and there is no cook in the kitchen in Pittsburgh. They are without a chef, and they need Gordon Ramsay or someone to come into that kitchen.
Dude, Zach
to
Moss
fix
has
that
like
thing.
900 yards on the season.
He's been a really good replacement. I mean, yeah, I don't see Pittsburgh's defense winning them this game, even if I don't know. There's just no way.
All right, on to the next pick. I got Thursday Night Football. In the battle of who's bad and who's worse, we get Easton Stick, I think that's his name, against either Jimmy Garoppolo or Aiden O'Connell. And after putting up 0 points,
they said old man Hoyer might get the start too. It's a total toss-up here.
Listen, I don't care if I'm out there playing quarterback for the Raiders come Thursday night. Anyone can tear apart a Brandon Staley defense, and it's going to happen. The Raiders are going to come out, put up 20-plus points against the Chargers. It's going to be a terrible, terrible watch, and the Chargers are probably going to put up 3 points at the most. I do not believe in the Chargers at all without Justin Herbert. I think we are finally going to see how bad this team really is without, a quarterback who can actually make things happen. And I feel bad for Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen owners. Actually, my brother Andrew in our family league, he's a guy I think we all agree if he wins the league, we just hit the delete button before the last second goes. So he's not going to win anymore.
Out.
Okay. Yeah, he has a bye anyway. But anyways, Keenan Allen's useless throughout the playoffs because Justin Herbert's not there. So I'm very excited about that from a fantasy perspective. However, disappointed from a real football's perspective. I loved the Chargers. I had bets on them to have the highest scoring offense. I don't know what's going on, but we get to see them lose it all out, say goodbye, Brandon Staley, and hello to a real coach.
All right.
Next year, I'm going to buy into the Chargers for like the 5th year in a row. It's going to hurt again. But as of Thursday night, I'm already out.
All right. Do we think, though, they're clearly making a point that they think, hey, here's the deal. We're already leaking information. We're going to let Brandon Staley finish the year. If Brian Hoyer shreds your defense, how is it possible for you to let that man stay as your head coach even for the last 3 games of the season?
If the Raiders quarterback to be named later, that is the current penciled in at starter. If they throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, you have to get rid of Brandon Staley immediately.
Tony, you're going to be the head coach of the Chargers.
It's about time. They've been waiting.
I want to emphasize Khalil Mack is leading the league in sacks too on that defense. So it's not like the talent isn't there.
Oh, I can't wait. Dude, I can't. I just hope he gets fired before the slate on Sunday. That would be hilarious.
With all this positive and excitement, emotion that you have, tell us why you want the under in a Sam Howell football game. You got the under Raiders versus Commandos.
I'm telling you, if you watch, it's crazy that you say this, but I still think that Aaron Donald can wreck their craptastic offensive line. I'm serious. They're going to give up the most sacks in the history of the NFL. Fine. like it's one thing if you had like a good offensive line or something, and then I don't know, like a terrible like wide receiver core or something like that. Like I don't know if that necessarily counts like the Giants or something like that. But insert sort of the opposite of what Washington is. Their offensive line is historically bad, and I think Aaron Donald wrecks them. I mean, I get it. Bieniemy's going to throw it 40 plus times, but and if he can get it out, this may be an easy one to go over. I'm not overly confident in this pick, but I'm pretty confident in this pick, and I just think that McVay is gonna want to run the football. I think this is a classic balance for him, but man, I just think that Aaron Donald is gonna wreck them. This is a total Aaron Donald play. No, there's no. I would say there's some analytics behind it, but the analytics is Aaron Donald, and he is still good at football, and that's it. Not a whole lot here except for their offensive line versus Aaron Donald. That's it.
Dude, I want the Rams to make the playoffs because of I like 4 or 5 of their players, like Puka.
This is totally an
Cooper
emotional
Kupp.
pick last week. I watched
Stafford?
I watched most of the Ravens game last week, and I was like, dude, classic Cooper Kupp game. Pikachu Nakua is great.
Kyron Williams.
Good.
Kyron Williams is
Kyron
really,
Williams,
really good.
like I don't know, man. This is
I don't
total
know.
eyes may deceive me here.
Zach Evans is the back they should be using because I said it at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, it was a garbage throwaway pick. I'm sorry. Anyways, let's go on. Anthony, the Giants have won 3 in a row. And
Keeping
you have
this one
them 5.5 point underdogs, but you're taking them against New Orleans.
short and simple. Saints are okay. They probably win this game by a field goal. Giants, they got the mobster, the mafia mobster and DeVito. I call me crazy if you got money to sprinkle, just money line the Giants this week. Short and simple. They want the money, baby. You see his agent calling out the hits. They got a hit on New Orleans this week. They're covering. You can count on it. It's a guarantee.
That sounds like the most stereotypical like gambling bit ever. Like just some crazy mafia Italian guy like, "Hey, it's a good bet."
If there's a gun to your head, are you taking the Giants 5.5 this week? I am.
And what's funny is like he's actually going to be the guy with the gun in hand and be like, "Hey, you know, gun to your head. You got to do this, you know."
Hey, babe.
Good pick. Also, I'm going to be your loan shark as well. All of the things that would be stereotypical Italian mobster. This is it.
I wish I had the mob music in the queue this week. That would be perfect. I'll get it going for next week because
he's gonna do it again.
Because he's gonna do it this week and he's gonna do it again. I don't care who they play.
They showed his family tailgating before the game, and it wasn't burgers. It was like chicken parm sandwiches.
Dude, I was about to say they're boiling some spaghetti out there.
Spaghetti. No, they're just cooking it on a flat top
like,
grill.
The little like tomatoes that you put on, yeah, they put like the tomatoes on the chicken with like provolone. It was insane.
It looked delicious.
One last thing, it has nothing to do with this game, but I remember asking Phil and I's grandpa, who's heavily Italian, a barber, if he was in the mob the one day, and he just blankly looked in the distance and did not give any response.
10,000%.
My best friend from Chicago is actually from New York. Actually, no, he's from Boston, but he lived in New York for 12 years. His parents are fresh off the boat. Like, they are immigrants. They were born in Italy, came here. He's Italian, was born and went to St. John's for his undergrad. At the same time, J. Cole was there. He always says that. But speaks fluent Italian. And he was all. I remember asking him the same question. I was like, "So you like you guys like no that like the Sopranos? That's not real, right?" He's like, "Yeah, mostly."
Dude, so my mom tells everyone the story of her great aunt, so my grandpa's sister, and how she did all these wonderful things, like when immigrants came over, she hooked them up with jobs. And I'm like, Mom, every time you tell the story, all you do is describe a mafia movie. Like, they gave them a job. They owed us a favor.
Yo, I don't know if you guys know this, but Cleveland had an outfit for the mob. Come
Oh,
on.
yeah.
we had the Italian mafia. That like
Yeah, you had an outfit. It was
Yeah.
like up there. That's where the longshoremen were. Yeah,
Yeah.
come on. I know my Italian. Are you guys Italian? You guys are Italian.
yes. Well, not genetically.
I definitely am. I
Well-
don't care what you say.
I was gonna say, I mean, our parents were adopted, so
I'm also
like,
Polish too.
Fair.
But no,
Yeah.
they are no, so they are adopted, but from their papers they are 100% full Italian.
okay, I didn't know that.
That's
So
at least
you're
what I
right.
was told.
You do
Oh.
have Italian bloodlines, so you guys should be betting Tommy DeVito every single week.
It's
based
a
off
no-brainer.
Principle alone.
It's a
Principle
no-brainer.
alone, I waste my money. Anyway,
I used to eat spaghetti 4 times a week, just like DeVito.
Anyways, moving on. KC versus New England. I got under 37, and you know why? Because I told Connor this before the show. New England isn't putting up more than a touchdown, and that touchdown would be an accident, if any at all. That would be Patrick Mahomes doing a behind-the-back pass as a joke because they're up 3 touchdowns already. 37 is just way too much for any game that New England plays. I don't know what happened in the Bailey Zappi, Mitch Trubisky Bowl where they put up like a combined 40 points.
They put up like 35 in the first half, though. That's
what I was going to say. Yeah, it was like the Patriots scored on the first 3 drives and they didn't move the ball. So I'm 10,000% out on the Patriots doing anything against one of the league's best defenses. So under 37, I don't care how good the Chiefs game. The Chiefs have not been explosive offensively. So if they're gonna have long sustaining drives. So I'm not gonna have them scoring 38 on their own. They'll probably win this 28-3, 24-3. All right, let's go on then to the next game. San Fran versus Arizona. This is Anthony and Connor. Anthony, you got spread. San Fran minus 12.5.
Yeah, I mean, I just love San Fran covering anything lately. They're a powerhouse, and Brock Purdy has been absolutely insane. Christian McCaffrey, anytime touchdown, was down to like minus 390 last week, which is like, it's gonna happen, but it's like I can't even throw that at a parlay at minus 390. That's insane. But yeah, Arizona is pretty much close to out. I know this is a rivalry, but San Fran's defensive front is scary. The whole defense is scary. They impose their will on teams, and I think they'll just take care of Arizona and win by 17 points, somewhere around there.
I thought for sure you were going to say 13.
No, not right on the money, but I think they'll be around 14, 17 points, maybe even 20.
All right. Connor, anything to add for the under?
Yeah, I think that San Francisco is going to just play keep away. They can do whatever they want. They can get up fast. They can play up tempo. They can slow down and run the ball. If you guys know, you guys probably don't know this. You might know it. Brock Purdy is averaging the lowest attempts per game in the entire NFL right now, and he's the highest percentage. And like yak and whatever, all of these different things, whatever, all the other stats that you would think would be a high volume thrower, he's doing on the lowest attempts per game, which means they're running the football. So I think that this is going to be oh my goodness, San Francisco is going to put up a lot of points. Then they're going to run the ball. Kyler's going to give it back to him maybe once. He might not give it back to him, but I don't think that they're going to move the ball. This is a classic 48 here. Holy cow! Like I don't know if they're baking in I don't know if they're baking in San Francisco getting 35. Maybe I don't know. Could be. So
Anthony, can you just confirm 48? That just seems real high.
If it's
it's Arizona. Arizona's got a good offense.
All right, so
honestly, this
48. That's real.
If it's 40, even if it's honestly, I would take this all the way down, probably to 45.5, maybe 45. I mean, 40. Like, I'm serious. I would still take this. this.
I just
47.5 on DraftKings.
I copy and pasted 48 over because I didn't believe it. I thought 45, 42, something like that, but nope. So, yeah, I'm on board all the way.
I kind of like it too. Screw it.
You sold me.
All right,
All right.
nope, Tony, don't
No,
you
I'm not
dare.
going on. I'm not going
Tony,
on. You're right.
gonna
You're right.
ruin it for us.
Guys,
Tony.
I want to let you know if you hear barking in the background, it's because I have a mirror in the basement and my dog is looking in the mirror, seeing herself and trying to fight.
Oh, I hear it
herself.
now. It's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah,
Your own reflection can scare the crap out of you. Trust me, I know. Right now, I've been scared of this guy in the screen the whole time. Not talking about you two.
All right, let's get this over with. I have a crying baby to attend to. Philly versus Seattle. Anthony and I going head to head. Anthony, you go first for Seattle so I can discipline my dog.
Seattle +4, no brainer. Phil picked Philly -4. Got to go up against him once. I love doing it. Love picking against them. But honestly, Seattle at home, they're going to get loud this week. Prime time. It's going to be a loud game, ugly game. They're going to I think they might even beat Philly. Philly's on a downtrend. They look terrible. If Seattle, I wasn't going to pick this game until I saw Phil take Philly. But Seattle, if you win the coin toss, listen to me. Get the ball first, put together a great drive, go up 7-0, because Philly will not use their run game after that. If they're down, they will not use their run game. Just take away their run game, take their ability to just dominate a game at the offensive line, and you can win that game. Their defense has kind of been shaky lately. Seattle can put up points. We know they can. Philly, their receivers dropping passes. I think the crowd's going to get to them this week. Seattle +4. I love it.
Philly revenge game, period. They're coming back. They're pissed that they dropped the ball a million times. They're going to come out, and Seattle's going to pay. End of story. Monday night, they get an extra night to rest up. Seattle, when it plays a legit offense this year, it gives up 30 points every time. They gave up 27 to the Panthers in week 3. I am all in on Philly.
Week 3, as before.
Okay.
Bryce Young.
Yeah. Then they gave up 28 last week and 41 the week before and 31 the week before that. Philly all the way. Fly, Eagles, fly. I cannot let the Cowboys get the 1 seed. Cowboys losing. Philly's winning. Philly back on top or tied with San Fran. I think San Fran takes the 1. I don't care. I got to get some risk.
They do need that win.
Dallas cannot have a home playoff game because they might win that. If it's on the road, they won't. With that, all I have to say is JJ Watt rookie card giveaway. We are at 41 subscribers, almost at 100, almost there. And by almost, I mean halfway. And then we can play some Bon Jovi for everyone. Get it? Because we're halfway there.
It was a poor joke. It was a poor dad joke. But since
subscribers,
you're the only one,
I'll meet you halfway with the signed Baker Mayfield poster. That Ken got me. So what? I unwillingly had to take it, or you could take.
Is it a Browns? Is it Browns poster?
Yes, 100%.
Oh.
He didn't give me a Tampa one. I'd be like, why,
dude? That will appeal to
or a Carolina one.
I should get him a Tampa one because he was a huge Tampa fan.
No,
I don't know if he still is.
No. We got to get a Rams signed Baker Mayfield poster out there.
Or a Carolina one.
That's what I'm saying. He was there for a whole 6 months.
Hey, he had his best comeback win in a Rams uniform. Just remember that. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Like, subscribe, comment, make fun of us. If you have fantasy football questions, it's the playoffs. Reach out. We kind of know some things.